Welcome to the Mortgage Foundations podcast, where we are here to guide you through the ins and outs of the mortgage world. Get ready to unravel the complexities and gain a solid understanding of everything you need to know about mortgages. Whether you're a first-time homebuyer or a seasoned homeowner, we've got you covered with expert insights and tips. Let's dive into the fascinating world of mortgages together. In today's episode, Tyler Cowell, the principal broker of Mortgage Foundations, FSRA number 13614, will cover the explanation of different prepayment penalties that mortgages can feature.
So, you're looking to understand mortgage prepayment penalties? Well, you've come to the right place. In this discussion, we'll dive deep into the topic and explain everything you need to know. First things first, let's define what a mortgage prepayment penalty actually is. When you take out a mortgage loan, you agree to make regular payments over a specific period of time, right? But what if you want to pay off the mortgage early? That's where prepayment penalties come into play. Prepayment penalties are fees charged by lenders when borrowers decide to pay off their mortgage before the agreed-upon term. These penalties exist to compensate lenders for the potential loss of interest income that they would have received had the borrower stuck to the original repayment schedule. Now let's take a look at the different types of mortgage prepayment penalties you might encounter. The most common type of prepayment penalty in Canada is the interest rate differential, or IRD. IRD is calculated based on the difference between your original mortgage interest rate and the current interest rate that the lender could charge on a new mortgage with a comparable term. In simpler terms, it's the amount of interest income the lender would lose if they gave you a new mortgage at the lower rate. Some lenders use the posted rate at the time the mortgage was closed instead of the actual interest rate when calculating the penalty. It is important to know how your lender calculates prepayment penalties. The difference can be substantial. How is the IRD calculated, you ask? Well, it can vary depending on the lender and the terms of your mortgage agreement. Generally, it's calculated by multiplying the outstanding balance of your mortgage by the interest rate differential, the difference between your original interest rate and the current rate, and then multiplying that by the number of months remaining in your mortgage term. This calculation provides an estimate of the penalty amount you would potentially have to pay. Another type of prepayment penalty you might come across is the 3 months interest penalty. As the name suggests, this penalty is calculated based on 3 months' worth of interest payments on the outstanding balance of your mortgage. It's a simpler and more straightforward way of calculating the penalty, as it doesn't take into account the interest rate differential. However, it can still be a significant amount depending on your mortgage balance and interest rate. This method of prepayment calculation is traditionally found on variable or adjustable rate mortgages. A third type of prepayment penalty is a fixed rate mortgage penalty, where there is a known percentage of the mortgage to be charged in the event of early payout. Some lenders offer mortgage products with a lower rate than other products. However, the trade-off is that the mortgage is more restrictive when it comes to being able to prepay it. In some instances, the mortgage can only be paid out before the end of the term in the event of a bona fide arm's-length sale of the property. In many instances, the lender can calculate the penalty using IRD or 3 months interest, or where it applies, the fixed rate penalty, and then charge whichever is higher. It's worth noting that not all mortgage agreements in Canada include prepayment penalties. Some lenders offer mortgages with more flexible terms that allow borrowers to make extra payments or pay off the entire mortgage without incurring any penalties. These types of mortgages are often referred to as open mortgages and may come with slightly higher interest rates compared to the more common closed mortgages. So why do lenders impose prepayment penalties in the first place? Well, as mentioned earlier, they're intended to compensate lenders for the lost interest income when borrowers pay off their mortgages early. From the lender's perspective, they rely on the interest income generated from long-term mortgages to cover their own borrowing costs and make a profit. When borrowers prepay their mortgages, lenders miss out on that expected income, hence the need for penalties. Now, it's important to note that your current lender is the only one that can give you an accurate answer to the actual prepayment penalty you will pay, as they have access to the full terms and conditions of your mortgage. Any other calculation would be an educated guess at best. In conclusion, mortgage prepayment penalties are fees charged by lenders when borrowers pay off their mortgages before the predetermined term. The most common types of penalties include the interest rate differential, or IRD, and the 3 months interest penalty. The IRD is based on the difference between your original interest rate and the current rate, while the 3 months interest penalty is calculated using 3 months' worth of interest payments. Additionally, some mortgages may have the fixed rate mortgage penalty as a prepayment penalty option. Remember, it's essential to understand the specific terms and conditions of your mortgage agreement to know if prepayment penalties apply and how they're calculated. And that's a wrap on our discussion about mortgage prepayment penalties. I hope this has shed some light on the topic and answered your questions. As always, it's crucial to consult with a mortgage professional for personalized advice based on your specific situation.
In today's episode, we discussed the different prepayment penalties for mortgages, shedding light on an important topic for homeowners. We hope you found today's episode informative, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button to stay updated for our next episode. Thank you for tuning in to Mortgage Foundations, and remember, every home starts with a foundation. Your mortgage should too.